Top 10 heroes for the month of April 2020. This is my always most liked video. I wanted to thank everyone for liking last month's video. Always have a great time making this video. And we're going to start right here at the top. And overall, this list is in no particular order. But I'm going to call it right here. Phoenix is the best character in the game right now. And that has to do with her absolute domination in Dark Dimension 3. And right now, she is a must-have for the first 8 nodes of Dark Dimension 3. You have to have her. And the reason why is that when she goes into her summon mode, it's not on cooldown, where all the other characters from day to day, the cooldowns like makes Ultron like not be able to get his minions off and things like that. But because of her summon is summoned, it's not on cooldown, and max health damage on her summer with her middle ability, she's going to account for, I'm going to say 80-90% of the damage that your team is going to do for the first 8 nodes of Dark Dimension 3. Plus, she's dominant in the arena. She's dominant in raids. Only she can use only once, because when she dies, then you have to spend the 50 cores. And plus her team. So there's always been this debate of Phoenix or Ultron. And the other thing is that there's no real counter to Phoenix yet. Let's take a look at this right here. Ebony Maw is going to be the next legendary character come to the game, and his kit was kind of hinted on comicbook.com, where they did like a press release for Marvel Strike Force, and he says this right here. Passively, whenever a hero controller dies, which is Phoenix, and that is her thing, is that she puts the rest of the team in stealth, sucks all the negative status effects to her, you focus fire on her, kill her, and then the Dark Phoenix pops up. So passively, whenever a hero controller dies, Phoenix, Ebony Maw applies barrier to all allies, amazing, and gains countered. On the next enemy turn, he'll ability block all enemy hero controllers and lose charge. This looks like a counter directly towards Phoenix. Because she's a hero controller. The way it looks like to me, that's going to directly ability block this mechanic right here. So we will see. I do want to talk about Hela also. And Hela is my number 2 recommendation for Dark Dimension 3. Only because of her summon Greg. It seems like they target him at the best time, and it allows them to take more turns. Basically, everything is like one hit. If you've seen any footage of Dark Dimension 3, it's bonkers. It's just like they hit for 300,000, 200,000, whatever, and your characters just get killed instantly. But a lot of times they target Greg, or the undead Asgardian. He takes away 10% turn meter. He comes back up. And because I replay the Dark Dimension 3 mode several times, this is very useful. Now, I do want to say this. There was a slight nerf in the last patch to the way that Greg and the Undead Asgardian works, and we're going to just read that. This was posted by Cerebro. Prior to version 3.1, there was a bug exploit which characters in certain PvE missions would always target summoned characters first. Yeah, there was this node where Captain Marvel would 100% of the time ultimate into Greg over and over and over again. Because of their low based health values, this meant those enemies would never attack a non-summoned character, which undermined the intended experience and was corrected in version 3.10. So the jury is out on this, because it seems to me it was a lot more effective a month ago. I'm still getting a lot of value out of Hela. Well, plus her kit's quite amazing. I mean, she's a part of the Asgardians. This right here, this Death Knives, is quite good. Plus, there's a couple people that are suggesting to me to pulling Ultron out of my U7 team and putting in Hela, and then currently testing that. And if that works, I'll probably take her to 6 red stars. Because I wasn't wanting to use her inside of Ultimate 7 because I found it somewhat hard to micromanage. Next on the list, we have to talk about Yoyo. Oh my God, Yoyo's bonkers, specifically in conjunction with Black Bolt. I just want to say this, Flurry and Run the Gauntlet are kind of useless, kind of useless. But right here, her basic attack basically will call in to assist Black Bolt, and then he's going to be clearing away 2 positive effects. That's great. And then if you're playing against a Yoyo, your Black Bolt won't have the offense down. But the main thing about Yo-Yo is giving the opposing team offense down almost always. And there's like very few mechanics to get around this offense down because it's always being popped up. Now, if she's blinded, it won't work. Assist from Black Bolt won't have the offense down. Captain Marvel ultimate gets rid of it turn 1 when she does her ultimate. Ghost Rider when he counterattacks when you kill somebody. So there are some ways around it. But overall, this is really, really important, especially in U7. It's amazing on defense inside of the squad arena. And I'm torn between Yo-Yo and Invisible Woman because pretty much that mechanic only works when she's the only, well, it only works when she's the only protector on the team. So that does slightly take away from Invisible Woman, and you can't run Invisible Woman and Yo-Yo at the same time. And I actually really want to have this debate, Invisible Woman versus Yo-Yo. And so if you watched my last month's video, I took Invisible Woman off of the list, but I want to put her back on because I've been using her on offense inside of Arena. She's a standalone character. She pretty much does everything that you need to do in this game. She's just basically a tank right here. Barrier's an amazing mechanic. Plus, she gives the opposing team offense down. This right here, she basically puts the tankiest character exposed and stealth everybody else. Oftentimes, that's Black Bolt. Very useful. Plus, she puts on them this immunity right here. 3 deflects and immunity, and that's useful because if you're playing against Yo-Yo, and let's say it goes on your Black Bolt won't get the offense down because he has the immunity. That's probably also one of the only ways of getting around. Plus, she's able to expose the other characters from under stealth, so that way you can target other characters other than their Phoenix. She is the queen of utility. The only problem I have with the Invisible Woman is that we have 2 amazing protectors right now, Yo-Yo and Invisible Woman, and you can't use them both on the same team. Last month I pulled her off the list, but this month I'm putting her back on. Now we have to talk about Black Bolt. This guy is bonkers with DPS. He wins matches. He's important in U7. I'm using him in every single game mode right now. I'm using him in Arena. I'm using him in U7. I'm using him in Dark Dimension 3 just because his stats are ridiculous, and he's a counter to Ultron. And we'll talk about Ultron here in a minute. Characters killed by Black Bolt can't be revived. That means he's also a counter to Red Skull in Alliance War. My goodness. There's just no doubt he has to make the list. And I haven't been as excited for a character as I am right now currently with Black Bolt since when I unlocked Ultron. And that is a big deal. Like when I unlocked Ultron, that was like Marvel Strike Force 2.0. It had so much fun in the arena. I got that same experience with Black Bolt. He's crazy good and easily makes this top 10 list. If you've caught any of my streams, you've seen me use him, and I highly recommend him. Next, we have to talk about Captain Marvel. Boy, I love Captain Marvel. She is one of the characters that I want to take to 6 red stars ASAP. She is a one-man army on defense inside of Alliance Wars. Recently, we went up on another alliance that seemed to have 6 red stars Captain Marvels everywhere. Every single node had a 6 red star Captain Marvel. That's a one-man team. When you get these 100k power Captain Marvels, you need a 200, 250k power team just to take her out alone. She's a one-man army. Plus, I really like this binary right here because she clears the negative status effects off herself. And if you're going up against a Yo-Yo, she clears that off herself, and oftentimes she can hit right into Ultron. And if you're playing with Black Bolt, you can delete Ultron turn 1 and he won't even revive. She's going to be an important character for a long time. I'm coming around on her. I like her very much. Next on the list, we have to talk about Scientist Supreme. And I'm just going to say, a lot of people have been saying that was the best reworked character of 2019. I haven't taken her into Dark Dimension 2, but I'm guessing she's amazing in Dark Dimension 2 along with Minerva. But she pretty much is the key to going through U7. and it has to do with she puts negative effects on everybody except for herself, and then she flips them, and just putting speed down on their team and putting speed up on your team and them having offense down and them having defense down, it's really the only way anything is possible in U7. And I would just guess that she's amazing inside of Dark Dimension 2. Now, I just took her to 14, and so I'm going to be taking her into Dark Dimension 3. I'm on node 4, although I just took her to 14 like yesterday, so I haven't been able to test it. But really, currently, I'm only excited about Phoenix and maybe Hela for Dark Dimension 3. But Scientist Supreme, U7 must, along with Shuri. Shuri's not on this list because it's kind of annoying that her deflect mechanic only works in raids, but it doesn't work in Dark Dimension 3. It's kind of annoying. So I took her off the list. That's probably the one character I took off the list. Next, we have to talk about Ultron. I don't know if I need to talk about Ultron. Now, Ultron was the best character in the game, probably still is the best character in the game. Black Bolt was a counter to Ultron, but he's still important. He really is. The three that are pretty much needed in U7, in my opinion, are Scientist Supreme, Shuri, and Ultron, and then you could use 2 others, and there's a lot of people that you can feather too. The current 2 that I'm liking the most are Yoyo and Black Bolt. Now, someone suggested me removing Ultron and putting in Hela. Jury's out on that one. Probably will know in a couple days, but that's something I'm currently testing. But once Ultron gets the minions out with the factory upgrade, he's almost unstoppable. Almost unstoppable. But what's kind of annoying about Ultron is that he has high cooldown in his abilities, and you really can't just put it on autoplay. You do have to kind of micromanage Ultron for him to work correctly. Next on this list is Minerva, and I'm putting Minerva on this because I'm going to be taking her to 14. From what I'm seeing, that she's also still very important inside of Dark Dimension 3 and the Cosmic Nodes. I haven't done that yet, but she single-handedly is the reason why I was able to unlock Ultron, and she is the queen of Dark Dimension 2. So Minerva, along with characters to support her, which could be a whole host of characters like Groot and Star-Lord, which I used. I imagine Scientist Supreme and Jessica Jones are good choices. And she will do all the work. As long as you feed her energy and protect her, you should be able to get through Dark Dimension 2 and get Ultron. Just for that reason alone, she has to make the list. Although she's not being used in a lot of other game modes as much anymore. She's Scientist Supreme, kind of Shuri, kind of outshining her a little bit. And then lastly on this list, and we'll wrap up the video, is Mr. Sinister. And I have no experience playing Mr. Sinister. I just want to say that everybody raves about him. The problem I have with Mr. Sinister is that he is red star dependent. If I had a 5 red star, 5 gold star Mr. Sinister, I would take this guy all the way up. People that have high red star, high gold star Mr. Sinisters are loving him inside of Dark Dimension 3 and pretty much any game mode. And I just want to say this. I think Mr. Sinister is going to be an important character for a very long time, strictly because of his clone mechanic. And I don't have confirmation of this, but the way that it worked before January 15th was that if you had a 6675 Mr. Sinister, your clone would be 7775. Word on the street is that right now you no longer need to do the passive on Mr. Sinister to get a 7775 clone. All you need is his ultimate, the clone one right here, to take to level 7. I found one Reddit post that kind of talked about it right here, but I couldn't find that. But word on the street is that it changed on January 15th, and now that currently the only T4 that you need to take to get the maximum clone is the ultimate. Okay, well, that is the top 10 for the month of April. There's a ton of honorable mentions, but I could only restrict it down to 10. If you think I missed any, put it down in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.